afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. May host Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Hero Psych, Defender of the Fatherland, your Lord and Master, here to redeem your souls, to bring you the joy and pleasure you need in life to keep fighting. So off here to a 1 vs 1 on Kholodny Ferma Winter in the cold darkness, the Eastern Front. The Germans and the Russians once more clash in control for the Eastern Front. In the East, Karl fighting here for the Großdeutschland Panther Division with the Oberkommando West, a top 50 Oberkommando West player. Versus in the West, we got Zijndee, a top 100 Soviet player. I think roughly around the 80s. Not that he's aged 80, by the way. At least that'd be bloody impressive if he was. I mean, thumbs up to that guy then, but I don't think he is. Sturmpanzer Engineers here, we got Breakthrough, Luftwaffe and Spec Ops there for Karl with Trouble Infantry versus Armoured Assault, Guard Motor and Guard Rifle with Mine, Penal Trooper and Engineers. Conscripts actually with the 35 Command Officer for the Penal Trooper build here versus the Oberkommando West. Very typical, very common choice there since the Penal Troopers fight very efficiently versus the Oberkommando West troops. They sort of trade very efficiently, of course can put on a lot of pressure, and of course with anti-tank arms can back you up in case things turn a bit pear-shaped. Oberkommando's player though is heading aggressively for the fuel and all the resources. Aggressive play there by Karl, very aggressively, certainly showing him German steel. Pilms are following up for Zijndee as he moves away here. I mean, obviously with the games in the early game, he's got no chance against the Sturmpioneers unless Karl falls asleep somehow. Which, if you're playing Campaneers, would certainly mean you might want to see a therapist. Not a therapist, but a physician, since that means you might have some narcolepsy going on there. Pilms there away, Skatka following up here for Zijndee. He's going to strike back hard here. The fascists, the Hitlerites. Point there being secured. Point here secured. More folks on the way there for Karl. Engineers saying southwards. Then we got the Pilms out there. The Strafniki with SPT 40 automatic rifle, usually formed up from a lot of criminals, mostly military criminals. So there are certain indicators they might have used also from the civil system. Now, of course, that will be disputed. But for example, one common one was actually tank crews that got into trouble. They were actually, in many cases, sent into the penal battalions, which could include basically losing their tank because some other crew stole their tank because they lost the tank and didn't want to get into trouble. At some point, they basically deemed so tank crews just abandoning their tanks willy-nilly, and so they basically said, unless your tank is literally on fire and it's about to explode, you're actually not allowed to leave the tank. So basically, caught without a tank, you're usually in a lot of trouble. So that rather meant that penal troopers had a decent amount of tank crews amongst them. Forces falling back here, possibly to the penal troopers, might also hurt the scout car. You can sort of pick up sounds like that through the fog of war, and you hear that one. You're usually going to go, you know what, I got better places to be. Places with anti-tank weapons. Forces falling out there for Karl, just lots of infantry, no Raketwerfers yet. So while he might be a bit concerned about it, he's not too concerned either. He's so far not at the stage where, wakes up in the night covered in sweat going, ach nein, es hat M3A1. Oh, es hat M3A1. Oh nein, mein boys, they got murdered. He's not quite there yet. But back here, sort of, not much else happening there for Karl of the Großdeutschland Panzer Division. So named because the division, unlike most German divisions when it was formed, recruited from all across Germany. Back at the start of the war, in fact, before the beginning of the war, the German sort of recruitment system actually worked to recruit from districts. So pretty much every from the division would be for a specific part of Germany. They did this because it actually ensured high unit cohesion within the division, and that was something the Germans were very big on, unit cohesion. So that was sort of an interesting way the Germans did it there. But the Großdeutschland in this sense was unique. He recruited across Germany and usually from the best. So a little fun fact there. Forcing out against the Engineers, we got Scout Car running up behind there. Flamethrowers at the ready, very potent of course force here. Striking at Karl at the Großdeutschland. Doing a bit of damage to Sturmpioneers moving in here. With the assault as they can do the damage, of course, with that much energy being focused down on it. Even though the Fulkers got around here, he can push it away, but it is surprisingly still in the course here to all this German effort to knock it out. Raketen following up in the center, we got people following up with the Volksgunde, shots flying across here the road. And we got the scout car joining in ready to flash out the fascists, unleashing intolerable heat against the Germans, scorching them and burning them, and Karl just doesn't have any Panzerfaust. Mines down here to catch up the scout car, good move there, plus any infantry that might walk across it. Battle group headquarters can soon go up. We could of course go for mechanized regiment. Bit varies from player to player. The mechanized regiment is still, I think, overall a bit more popular. We've got mines here as well, so he's of course really trying to catch up the scout car plus an infantry. Skirmishing here between two penal troops and the Sturmpioneers. caught here a bit in a bad spot there overall. Penalty was remaining in not negative cover, of course, also not a lot there. Plus at this range, the Sturm Ponies just don't have much DPS. Overall, the Sturm Ponies sort of have roughly the same profiles in the short rifles, but theirs, compared to Panther gundies, drop off a lot more around the midpoint, so they aren't quite as effective there. They can still pack a punch. Mechanized it is here for Karl. Penalty going for the cuff point, striking forwards. For the motherland, we got triple penal troopers plus the scout here for Zijndee. No doctrine yet here though for either side. We have yet to commit to anything. Karl there is obviously going to go for looks, push it hard against Zijndee. We'll see what he does, but he has gone for Guard Motor. Heavy mortars, Guards Rifle, of course, down the road. T-35 is what he'll be unleashing against the fascist scourge. The photos coordinated with Karl, not the best engagement there for Karl. Generally running up close to the penalty there is not really much of a better engagement. Oh, there we go though. Oh, hits the mine though, goes out of control. Taking out the M3-1, but nonetheless, Zijndee though is applying heavy pressure on Karl on the Groß Deutschland Panzer Division, leaving in a bit of a rough spot here. Troops healing reinforcing, well, reinforcing. No healing there from the mechanized regiment. So there we go, bit of a rough start here for Karl so far. Victory points wise, he's already almost 100 points below Zijndee and the Soviets here with the, oh, actually didn't give them a division name, but there'll be the 6th Guards Tank Corps. In the south, also moving ahead here, Guardsmen around there for Zijndee. There'll probably be some DP light machine guns away as soon as possible, which is right about now. Troops are reinforcing. Bit more to go for Lux. They had aggressive rationing from Zijndee. They're certainly slowing down Karl's tech, and of course this is likely a part of Zijndee's plan. Up north, Kholodny for creeping ahead here, baiting away some troops with Calamity more access. Easily go for the cuff point. Well, I don't know if this was actually intentional bait or not, but it was intentional. Pretty clever, I think, there by Karl. In particular, since Kholodny is a pretty tempting target for most players. They're not going to go, these fascists is trying to bait me. They're going to think, yes, anti-tank weapon we can steal. Let's go, comrades. But what if it is a trap, Dimitri? Ha! The fascists aren't that smart. All the way though, Zijndee then maintaining got control. And there you go, DP light machine top. We also got a grenade there. The RGD-33 fragmentation grenade. Folks, they're pushing back. The Ignition almost getting wrapped. Was also repulsed. But he's down to 357. The victory point situation is looking pretty grim here for the German army. And there we go, we got the looks of Aufklärungspanzer Panzer on the way for Karl. Time to strike back in the name of the German people. Hopefully. In the south there, points being secured. Guards for people moving up there to attack the cut point. You need to lay down some incendiary grenades around here to make it happen to use cover. But there you go, we got the return grenade against the Germans, trying to sort of hug around cover. And there you go, Guard goes back in on the penals now to fight as they slowly burst into flames as well. Looks almost done here, troops reinforcing. He should consider some medic kits from the Sturm Pioneers when he has the resources, because some of these Volksgundiers are not in a good condition. Mines here from Zijndee as well, very good, very good. And there you go, Jürgen and Otto blown to bits. Back here, tank coming up. He's going to push for fast T7. He's also go for the Option 6. Either way, though, he's got some good options there. Again, the absolutely strong map control there versus Karl, or rather has given him quite the upper hand. And Karl here goes for Breakthrough, which we actually haven't seen in some time. It's rather fallen out of favour, but not out of favour with Karl. He believes in the Panther Fusiliers. There you go, arriving here, 6-man squad. Very well reinforced infantry unit there. And can of course be equipped with G43s. Luke's moving in, blasting away there at the penalty from inside the house. The autocannon rattling off heavy shots. We got the penalty letting glass out behind their cover. North by Kholodny there, grabbing territory there, and we got the T-70 up for Zijndee and the 6th Guards Tank Corps in the south point. Them caught wiring off the cover, which has been wired off from the other side anyways. There you go, Kholodny being assaulted, trying to get a wipe here. And there you go, the T-70 strikes. Right, the Panther Fusilier getting off an anti-tank rifle grenade. And we go, damaged engine on the T-70 light tank. Panther Fusilier need to fall back here. No, Panzerfusilier, what was actually just another title for Panzer Grenadier. It was basically one initially given to the Großdeutsch, then would sort of be given to other units, sort of designated as well in some way. Fusilier, on the other hand, was a reconnaissance unit, but that was actually part of the infantry division, sort of part of the reforms there, where there were a lot of infantry units cut down, plus they lost the scout battalions, in which case they basically gained the Fusilier battalion, sort of make up for the loss of both the scout battalion and several of the infantry battalions, that is the infantry divisions. And they were sort of slowly cut down as well, for example, by the late stage of war. In some cases, they're just a company instead of a full battalion. But the Fusiliers were usually considered more of a divisional elite within the infantry divisions. So, little fun fact, they were also usually the ones, if they had any assault rifles, for example, they'd be given them. It's a little fun fact there. But anyways, Panzerfusilier, not actual reconnaissance units, just another name for Panzer Grenadier. Photos moving out here. Looks they're blasting out the guardsmen. Grenade off, Panther was standing by here, and there we go, Fulton coming northwards as well. And we got a battle group headquarters for Karl. Interesting choice there. I mean, he doesn't quite have the option to command Panther, so this in some ways seems a bit more risky. You normally go for the Schwer Panther quarters here, but clearly Karl has some other plans, but we'll have to see how valid these plans are. Definitely pretty bold then. T-7 moving in, they're opening up the Panzerfusilier, forcing them back. Back here, reinforcement going on. Soon medics will arrive as well. Sanitäter. Panzerfusilier slowly withdrawing, but not completely retreating. Looks there versus the Strafniki out in the open, blasting them down. Up north, full ground the point. We got engineers bringing to flash them out in the south point. They're being secured as well. Sturmpioniere in a bit of trouble, they're forced away. Karl might have pushed his luck, but Zijndee, of course, is quick to harass and, you know, put threats on him. Back here, after further gone, he's got some anti-tank rifles up to further help deal with the looks. He could actually get away with taking out now and try and push him for some medium armor very fast versus Karl, which, of course, knowing Karl's situation, of course, we do. I mean, it's going to be extra effective because Karl is not taking out fast for armor. And he's only got a single cannon there. If he gets hit by T-45s now, Karl could be in a lot of trouble. Losing his blast with the penal troopers with the cover crumbling, and so are the penal troopers as the autocannon makes very short work of them. There you go. Sergei and Pushkin pushed into the grave. He's only taking a light hit there. Back here, healing enforcement going on. Medics hard at work. And there you go, the anti-tank penal troopers moving in. Looks like it's already withdrawing. Karl remains rather penned in here by Zijndee and the 6th Guards tank Kholodny identifying where there is 88mm rocket. Like Kednev, essentially though, was basically just a Panzerschreck on a mount with a longer barrel, making it overall more accurate and with more range. But beyond that, it really wasn't that much different from the Panzerschreck, and overall lost out in favour of the Panzerschreck, which is just much more portable. As the Kednev basically saw some usage within sort of Fallschirmjäger units and Gebirgsjäger units, but otherwise not really much. So a little fun fact there. MD-45 on the way for Karl to help deal with some of Zijndee's infantry. Looks setting out. Zijndee though is not yet taking up. Oh wait, never mind. It looked like he might be considering it, didn't. Looks there halfway to veteran C2 in the south for Kednev for their own watch. Penal troopers moving about. And there you go, Karl strike north. It's down to 290 versus the 457 of Zijndee, so looking a bit tough there. Going for another Kednev, who's of course quite aware of the situation, and he is not going to leave himself too unprepared to use versus armor. Those Zijndee attack this yet to come forth. Oh, there we go. Base had it queued up all along alongside the repairs of the T-70. But there you go. Good work by Zijndee. You can actually push out a fast T-34-6, so he might feel more just, you know, tempted to go straight for the T-45, which isn't really a bad choice considering how far ahead he is. Self-repairs up here for the T-70 now. They cruise. Zijndee might get out. MD-34 defending the centre victory point here. Fanatically in the service of Deutschland, and there you go, here Mort out to flash out the machine gun. Films on watch, got the moving ever closer with their assault rifles. The Sturmgewehr 44. There you go, Pims on the bit of Tom, there you go, pushed back, heavy damage inflicted. Likely won't result in a wipe unless Karl here gets supremely lucky. Such luck does not befall upon his shoulders. Back in, I think, going for Karl. As for Zijndee, the mechanized armor company is ready. The tanks will soon roll. And Karl here going for the lightest infantry geschütz for some light support here versus Zijndee. Not a bad choice, got any more sitting out. Modifying the Sturmpioniere. Fun fact, the LEG-18 was basically named 18, which indicates it came into production, you know, all that during 1918. But that was actually, the truth was more around 1934, 35, if I remember correctly. But those bases are done to sort of get around the Versailles Treaty to just make it seem like, oh well, we already had it there. It's just, you know, we only began producing it now in larger numbers. So that way, get around it. So a little fun fact there. Who's coming against the Pimps? Gunning them down out in the open. Casualties piling up for the Stravniki. Our people going against the Sturmpioniere. Panther here with an anti-tank rifle against the T-70 again. And then there's, ooh, get wiped. A small victory here for Karl. Bit of a loss there for Zijndee, but he is so far not deterred. And he can soon go for the T-45, whereas Karl was going to have very little to stop. He's also taking up now, though, going for the Schwerpunted quarters. The final truck was all in there. We've got Pilms and Garth making a big sweeping move towards the south, and just Karl's only got a look to really try and stop that. Problem is, there's an awful lot of anti-tank rifles, which can make an awful lot of holes in that light tank. I also like how Jürgen there's Panther man running. Just, you know, he must have been a mime before he joined the army. He just can't help himself. My God, Jürgen, he's so annoying. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if the Russians shot him. And there you go, T-45 on the way to Zijndee. We got the lightest infantry geschütz firing away. And heavy mortar fire there already raining down against it, quickly forcing Karl left or back with it. Luke's being repaired. Where we'll be setting up the Schwerpunter scores around here to cover the cough one a bit. At north, Panther was hotly pursued here by the T-70. Mine goes off, killing almost the entire unit except poor Fritz. But he manages it for Germany. And you've got hanging back, and we got the T-45 out there for Zijndee. Rolling out for the glory of the motherland. Hey, mortar continues to fire away there. Landing off close to the light infantry gun, which on the other hand is landing awfully close to nothing itself with its shots because the Russians aren't there. There you go, Luke's at work, MD-44 infantry bring up the ultra, Kevin the army also got the T-45, he's going to get, I think, a bit vicious here between the two. There we go, got to push back, T-45 nearby. He's clearly worried about a Kedneffer, so with the infantry also falling back here, Zijndee begins pulling back his T-45, very good. They understands the relation between infantry and armour, and the relation between anti-tank weapons and armour as well. So good play there by Zijndee. German pushing for the centre. We'll see what Karl goes for first. Could be a Panther 4, could be a Panther, could be a Jagdpanzer. Though versus the T-45 were in the field at the moment, likely on the way. A Panther I think would probably be the best choice here for Karl. The Panzerkampfwagen 5. Though it's only going to be a bit costly in terms of victory points, since he is deeply bleeding away here in the face of Zijndee's rocket raiding and defence. Oh dear, that line for gun could be in a lot of trouble here. T-45 moving in. There we go. Luke's so off to the rescue. I mean, most can stop the infantry, but he can't exactly stop the T-45. Okay, now for the dust trick, and there goes second on the up. T45 suddenly heavily damaged and is going to be a bit out of commission for some time there, as Zijndee's going to need to fix it and fix it up as fast as possible. But like Kednever got wiped in a really bad spot here, punishing Karl. Great luck there for Zijndee, bad luck for Karl, but he's quickly sending in troops to grab it back.
Engineers ready for assignment.
Denying it to the Russians.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
Grab the centre victory point, but with not a lot of troops, so he's going to have to quickly fall back unless he wants his unit wiped in the face of Zijndee's precarious defenders here. You've got the Lux blasting away, closing in eventually 3 ever so slowly. Panther for strike, close to eventually 2. In the far south there we got the MG-54 defend the victory point, but there's an awful lot of angry Russians who are seemingly very stubbornly determined to grab the point no matter how many bullets go in the general direction. But in the end, Zijndee retreats, deciding his men have better places to die than exactly that one spot. Got looks moving here, backing up the Panther for striking at the centre. Zijndee's men crumble apart, but so is Karl's. Karl can soon go for the Panther 4, but again, I do hope he goes for a Panther, which isn't too far off either. 221 versus 1-8.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Northern point here being seized. Back here, troops seemingly enforcing. Back at Zijndee's base, can actually go for another T-45 soon. Could also make assaults. You could also go for the Katyusha. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad choice either, but I do think you should aim for armor superiority here in the case that, you know, Karl does push for a Panther, in which case a single T-45 is not going to be necessarily the most fruitful choice. Versus the might of Deutschland in Panzer form. Looks being repaired. The repair parties monitors down the road once he's gotten out his tank, obviously. He wants that Panther as soon as possible. There you go, MG-54 being pursued by the T-35. Of north, Peems being pushed back along by the looks. Very, very close to Veteran Feeble. Not really a lot of action north because the T-33 match just blocks the way there. And going for the HD5, Zijndee is clearly thinking a bit ahead here, anticipating some sort of big tank here from Karl, either Panther or possibly the King Tiger, in which case having a tank destroyer ready is a really good choice there for Zijndee. Really good choice. Looks there moving up with Kevin supporting T-45 back comes there, also keeping the infantry away there. Good work here by Zijndee. Should be able to salvage the T-45 then, and avoids its total destruction. H5 close to done there. Karl here can go for the Panther. The Panther can find from there you go. They got the guard firing under fire here from the looks. No Panther yet here though for Karl. Could he be planning a King Tiger? I mean, that'd be pretty ambitious. And would mean, you know, more time for Zijndee just to crush him, so I wouldn't recommend it. I would much more strongly urge the Panther. But we'll see what he ends up with. So if I remain close, he might want to spread out his forces a bit here because this is very much an artillery target he's just created. T-45 still away in repairs, and there we go. Karl and the Groß Deutschland calls forth a Panther. Panzerkampfwagen 5. Up north teams are moving ahead there as well. In the centre for those penal troopers. And we got artillery firing back and forth here. Trying to take out the Haymortar with his light infantry shots. Panther halfway down there for Karl. Zijndee's T-45 southwards. HD5 is just hanging back here, having a nice time. And there we go, machine gun caught here by the T-45. Down to 209 versus 399. There we go. Panther ready. That's going to give, I think, Karl a bit of a boost as long as he uses it correctly.
Vehicles can be marked and targeted.
Tries to make its best out of machine guns. Its main gun, of course, its armor. And there you go, going for the T-70. I think that's a great priority there. So he's been using the T-70 to essentially guard the entire north. But if you can get rid of that, that means the north is very much open. He has to sort of, you know, divert forces from able to defend it. So there's certainly a few possibilities here for Karl. But in the end, just decides not to commit any further after it. Of course, there's the potential mines up there, and if he gets the Panther stuck, that could be really critical. So I think in the end, Karl makes the right decision. And the South Panther moves in, the infantry trying to reclaim what is lost into the Russian. Panther supports, looking for Bolshevik tanks, but which to fill with 75mm rounds at a very high velocity. Mine goes off, its grenades off as well. Engineers being spotted there. No machine gun for the Panther. We got a Katyusha on the other for Zijndee. Certainly with some of the ways Karl is classing up his infantry at times, it could be useful, plus on his more dug-in elements, though I think he should go for another tank. I mean, he's only really got T for the farm, the T-70, and I do feel like force composition-wise, there's not too grand, plus he's already got the heavy mortar, so I don't really feel like there's a desperate need for the Katyusha to fill the role of artillery, because there's no other sort of force down here. So, just some thoughts there. Other way, though, to the Katyusha is committed. Pinlock machine being added to the Panther, very good. Sehr good. Fun fact about the Panther, but the hatch there for the command actually took several minutes to open up due to it being hand cranked and really, really heavy, which of course made it difficult to get it open, but rather meant, you know, trouble, you had to take 8 to get up. Of course, in most cases, German tank commands would usually drive with the hatch open anyway, so they can get better line of sight. So, you know, in that sense, it wouldn't have been much of a problem in certain situations where they couldn't drive around with that. But a little fun fact there. Another fun fact about the Panther, but the turret was actually quite cramped. There was not a lot of room for loading the gun and firing and all that. And in fact, they were planned Panther Model F, which would actually use an even smaller turret where they would barely been able to load the gun at all. Would have been very cramped. They would have had more armor on it. So, little fun fact there. Mine's going down here for Zijndee to try and slow move down Karl's advanced flank attempts as well. Very good, very good. North, bigger push here. He's more confident now with the Panther to actually make pushes using the Kholodny support against the T-70. Not a lot of into though to back it up. Hunting forward to 399. Karl there needs to do something a bit more work in there. Got up north, the Kholodny is being repulsed. Back in, nothing going on there. You go. We've got to push forward to the centre with the Lukes spotting ahead here. The question is for what, since there's nothing for it to spot for. Seems like there might have been a slight mistake there by Karl or some brain fire. There you go. Luke spotted being dealt with. Need to fall back. Panther is also need to retreat. I mean, it's great to stop the victory, but I don't think it's worth sacrificing. Oh, well, they're dead. Never mind it. But I was about to say they weren't worth sacrificing just for that. 130 feet versus 399. Things are certainly further ticking against Karl here. Very rapidly and very aggressively. I think the Luke's been better served up north rather than in the centre where just, you know, was anyways just hiding it away there. Strike to the centre here with the T-70. Definitely a problem there for the infantry. Panther first up. Just going to perhaps give Karl some more time else. But he's going for the Stukas of Fuzz. He wants his own rocket. So there you go. Decides against it. I definitely think that's the right decision. Just commit to more armor. Now the Panther or a Panther 4 right now seems to be great here for Karl. If he is correctly on the south here, we've got more skirmishing out and the grenades off. Troops being repulsed here though as Zijndee strikes for the 6th tank, Guards Tank Corps for the motherland. Mines up here to further cover up. Very good work there by Zijndee mining again. Looks achieves virtually 4 as it tears through Russian infantry. And there you go, Panther to rescue as well. We got Mark Lead off from the Looks. Nicely timed in the outfit around here while it stops the Strafniki dead in their tracks. And we got a Yak Panther out for Karl to help deal with the armor and tank destroyers. Not a bad decision at all. Definitely means Zijndee's armor is going to have a bit of a rough time. And looks like the T-70 baited up north here, spotted by the Kholodny and taken out. A small victory for Karl. Definite loss there for Zijndee, as it means the north is now more open, though Zijndee is definitely intent on shutting down most approaches using mines. Very good work there, very good work. No, cancel the Panther for Panther 4, possibly feeling he might just want to focus more on the infantry. I mean, that is an option. But almost at this stage, just say he should just go for another Panther and just go for 2, which I think would be a lot harder for Zijndee to deal with. Karl getting down with his own mines. Rocket fire here takes out the light infantry gun. Quite unfortunate there for Karl. The Kholodny crew also in a bit of trouble. And they're going for strikes north. Zijndee could consider more tanks, and I think he should consider more tanks. He might not be able to go for the T-45. Well, he's barely there to able to do it, but I think he should at least go for the T-45 to back things out. I mean, he's essentially only got 1 tank and a tank on the Katyusha versus a player now with 2 tanks, which, if used correctly, could definitely give Zijndee's tank destroyer a bit of trouble. The H-85 is great for dealing with large singular targets like King targets, a degree of Panther, but say he gets hit by like several tanks. The H-85 begins to falter a bit. So I do think he needs to bring up something else here. Panther on the move, pin up machine on the way, they're floating in the centre. Barely avoiding getting obliterated there by Armoured fire. Gas when they're hitting the dirt. H5 backing it all up. There you go. Panther takes a direct hit from the 85 with a gun. The south here, Panther advancing, getting flanked here. The Pims are going to go here for the H5. Going to flank it. Good work there. Good work. Being theoretically go for the Katyusha, but they got direct from the H5. The Kholodny members though take advantage of the occupation of the Panther, knock out the H5. So in the end, the Panther just acted as bait. But that still actually works out pretty well here. That's on the way the tank destroys dead. That's a big blow there to Zijndee. You can reasonably easily replace it, but even then just losing. Oh, he's not realised the guard, of course, get the dirt. Can't dodge the Panther, and Karl there crushes a few. Down to 112 though versus Zijndee in 96. Penals in the years heroically charging forward, so we got more Panthers out here for Karl to replace the ones obliterated previously by the pissed of Zijndee. Panther there closing the medicines 6 kills as his machine guns just keep blasting away, laying down an incessant storm of bullets. Lead. There we go. Luke striking southwards, leaving the Pims going for the fuel point. Big 2 points wide, things are still ticking down for Karl. There you go, begins using breakthrough tactics. Wonderful. Largely rapidly running the points neutral, getting more time to just slow down the bleed. Excellent work there by Karl. Those should still get some support out, and of course not bunch up his troops, knowing there's a heavy mortar button. There you go, T-55 lands another supreme hit there. More or less taking out the fulls except for just poor Dietrich. He does seem to manage it, but there you go, Katyusha fighting Malik to try to get the wipe, and he bloody well does. Yo, does he also get the second squad? No, he doesn't. That was still a hell of a Katyusha barrage there. Well predicted by Zijndee. Quite a blow there to Karl, who can't really afford infantry losses at this stage. On top of all the other pressures he's got going, tanks are being repaired here. Panther all got to go, Panther being fixed up. And there we go, Zijndee bringing up the second T-45. So named because of its 85mm gun. Same as used on the H-85. They went after the workbench with bringing up bigger guns to the T-34 series, but they were just too big and were basically not very practical. For numerous reasons, I believe one of the roles has just been ammunition. Wouldn't be able to carry much ammunition for it anyways, but there you go, T-34 down to very low health. Like Kevin doing a lot of damage, Panther Vault staying landing some good hits. Shot bounce though, other T-5 moves ahead as well, pretty risky, pretty risky. Tanks missing each other here, who gets down? There you go, T-5 goes down. Quite a loss there for Zijndee. That was his most veteran T-55 crew. And this is why I bring in infantry, though technically it's a somewhat historical engagement there for Zijndee. It was actually not uncommon for the Russian tanks to end up rushing ahead of the infantry and thus being isolated and destroyed by anti-tank defenses. Whereas because the Germans just hide for the wait for the tanks to drive over them in their trenches, then part of the trench begin shooting the infantry meant to accompany the tanks. So a little fun fact there. Looks close to veteran 5. And the ace level. Panther falling back very, very close to veteran 1. Back here, troops reinforcing. Getting ready for the next big push. Panther with 8 kills. So far, mostly infantry in fact. The Panther's machine guns are actually pretty good at dealing with infantry if you know how to use them. In this case, with all the anti-tank rifles, maybe not that good, not with like 4 going after it. Breakthrough tactics again here for Karl. He's beginning to realise the power of that ability. Great to see. Does get, I think, neglected by a lot of Orbital Commanders players, and of course the Wehrmacht version gets overlooked by a lot of mobile defense players. Time for gun back in action. Panther here trying to clear out the ration infantry, getting some kills in, but does need more infantry support here when they're dug in. Sadly, there's no infantry spare, it seems, here for Karl's Panther. Zijndee is going to have to replace his armoured losses, but with infantry losses, but it's becoming a bit harder here as Karl pressures and pressures. Repair ponies on the way to help tank repairs. I'm surprised it actually first happened by now, but better late than never, I suppose. 40 kills on that looks. Excellent work there by Karl. Got more PTOs out. He's starting to really worry about the armoured threat. He's less worried about Karl's infantry, who is actually calling up more and more Panther here, equipping some with G33s. Panther and Dine repairs, the very close to 1 Panther with charging forwards here. Bit exposed, they're not hugging cover or anything like that. Next major target for rations into the gas. We need to not hit the dirt. There we go, grenade off. Oh! Now, managed to dodge it. Panther moving up. McKenna retreating, 1 cleared out here, but the Puma was about developing here for Karl. Could be secured here by Zijndee and turn against him. He does turn against Karl and Deutschland. He's pushing back the forces in the south. We've got the incendiary operation on MD-34 versus the engineers. Panther being fixed. Now they could choose your barrage off. Close getting the Panther Fusiliers. That's being a naughty kitten and attacking the headset wire. Very naughty kitten. Rocket shattering the air around the victory point. 85 points left here for Karl. Need to do something for the Großdeutschland and Schnell. Basil continues to be a bad kitty. Or bad kitten. More breakthrough tactics here. It's suddenly how, he realises when things get desperate, they're going to use them. They tend to happen a lot with some players, again, suddenly things are desperate, they're not quite looking as strong, and then suddenly they begin realising they can use abilities. And then they seemingly forget about it again. So hopefully Karl remembers, because the more you can actually use it as well, when you're actually ahead, you can actually also gain some advantage there. Another T-45 on the way for Zijndee though. Can't hardly fail to make any impression on the T-45. Panther heading out on its own. With its higher velocity 75mm gun. The higher velocity basically meant higher penetration. Some people actually only focus on the caliber of the gun when it comes to that, but velocity was actually just as important, if not more important, than the caliber when it came to penetrating armor. Plus, velocity also meant the gun was more accurate. There were several advantages to the Panther's gun. Good hit on the T-45. So far there on the heavy mortar crew. Big 2 points wise. We can see that Karl is slowly turning around against his opponent. Good work, but still a lot to go. Still a lot to go. Looks just sort of having a nice time. Having a very nice time. Just making sure I'm not going to accidentally roll over Basil's tail or something with the chair. My apologies there. He is quite the energetic kitten at times. And if you're watching the southern exit point, and there you go. Katyusha barrels off here from Zijndee. Aircraft shot down. And we got the Tifa rolling about looking for targets, victims, prey. Tanks sending out, they're supported by infantry. Good work in the south, they're going to push it as well. Rolling about. He needs to be careful he doesn't extend himself too much. You know, could get Panther fast and then make easy target for the German armour. We'd be more than happy to put Zijndee for that commission, which more or less happens here. Anti-tank people there might have a chance of slowing it down, but looks like it's not going to happen. There you go, T55 gets abandoned, but there you go. Oh, no, he's going to keep pushing ahead. He's going to keep pushing ahead. He's going to ignore it. But no. Gets caught up here. Satchel off. Pumas need to retreat. There we go. Huge explosion. Panther down to half health, but also very close to Betsy 2. Very good work there. And by Karl, though, I would still say pretty risky. In the end, they did get the T55. That's going to be a blow there to Zijndee. Though he's getting so much fuel, he can still replace it easily. The problem is that prevents Zijndee from building up a critical mass of tanks, which is what the Surge want to do. Like, they want more than 2 tanks. They want like 3 or 4, and then they sort of strike really hard using the sheer mass of the tanks to just overwhelm the Germans. But so far, Zijndee's just not quite getting there due to so close in that time, but also just because Karl is really good at punching it. Panther blitzing away. Again, he might try and, I guess, use it as bait. He's just going to buy time for the Panther and then finish off whatever's happening. We got the looks moving up, that Panther sending out, and there you go, right from the T55 on the looks of the Panther. There you go, Panther setting out and getting the T55 head on, very close to Betsy 2 though, very close to get Schutzen and everything else there. Ah, damn, it's ending again. Heavy damage on the Panther once more. Karl is not getting a lot out of that Panther. There we go. Veteran 2 shots now, but South to charge off. This could be a catastrophic blow. Hits Karl. If he loses the Panther, that could be a chance of Zijndee to really push back hard. Katyusha finding the nearby infantry rather bunched up. There you go, Panther almost down. Almost down, but there you go. Panther moving up. Might be able to get off an second off. There you go. Force the T-5 to fall back alongside like Kholodny. Pretty good luck there for Karl. That was really risky maneuvering there with the Panther. And up north, the infantry pushing back in. There you go again. Breakthrough tactics once more, quickly rendering in neutral. Faster than the Italians can switch sides. Panther moving up here, mortar and Pumps there. Trouble got the Katyusha also being slowly exposed by now. Sadly, he doesn't go for the Strum Officer. It would be great if he did that. I do think the Strum Officer is a pretty great unit if you know how to use it and understand its strengths and weaknesses. Basil savagely attacking my hand. Not that really hurts. He's obviously playing. Grabbing the point here. Good work. Karl keeping out the pressure for Deutschland. Panther 4 falling back. Panther as well. Telephone like Kholodny for point here being secured. Force being repulsed.
We have 200 points remaining.
Close to actually feet on that Panther 4. Really good work there for Karl. We get that far. This also put up another machine to help control the infantry, make it hard for Zijndee rushing the victory points. Tifa for Archibald Kennedy up Katyusha as well here. Not quite ready, but possibly break up from German attacks. And there you go, Pims in the center being slaughtered like lambs. And there you go, terrified on the machine gun. But over here a bit too late to really have any impact. Panther with 11 kills. Veterans 2. Up north we got the looks dealing with the lone people squad. They're 46 kills. My God, Jürgen, we're gonna get a medal at this rate. Yeah, and if the Russians ever catch us, we're gonna get shot. Yeah, let's try not to get caught, Sin. Yeah, let's not. There we go, we got assault artillery in here by Karl. I think it's just to make it happen to push forward with the return to victory point. Basically blocking the area from the movement. Panther being repaired. Push the penal troopers here. Close here, but yeah, the penal then should have the advantage there. Poor state, the Fulcrums are in there. Go massive smoke screen down there. Not really much to take advantage of there. Panther force heads in. And the Panther's good to go once more for Karl for Germany. He's an outflowing a lot of fuel, but that's supposed to be because he's got a sort of decent force compensation and like he feels like he's got the same amount of tanks. So there's not really a necessity, I think, to go for more fuel. I mean, it's not necessarily the primary resource, anyways. In that regard, fuel is essentially the tertiary resource. Like manpower is the primary because without manpower you can't do anything. Munitions sort of the secondary. Well, actually, it's probably the fuel is the secondary. Munitions the tertiary. Tertiary can be used to help boost your units, but it's not really critical to the production of them. So yeah, I'm speaking nonsense there. Speaking nonsense, my apologies. But no, fuel is the secondary, munitions the tertiary, can be of course support the other two. Resources we got, but fuel is very much not primary, so I mean, it's more worrisome if you're flooding a lot of, say, manpower and say a lot of fuel. Because fuel in some ways has more limited use than say munitions or manpower. And you can't really do anything with fuel, for example, if you're at full pop cap. You can still lay down mines, as when someone's floating like munitions, does get a bit silly. But there you go, choose fire again. Veterans 1 finally gained here for Zijndee. Could choose your rocket launcher. Almost gets the Panther was there, they obliterated. And white.
We are down to 100 points.
Panther all there rolling in. Gonna try and find the HC5, which Zijndee was finally able to call in again. Probably should have waited for the Panther to arrive as well here, but the Panther's a bit separated in the south. He can't push in to lose his support. We're down to 87. Can't be able to close in the lead there. Very well done there. There you go. Panther strikes, flanking like Kholodny with his machine guns. Quick away until kills then out with 13.
You are showing weakness. We are down to 75 points.
72 points left here for Zijndee, and the 6 guards tank on the face of the goal starts. That Panther shoots and misses. Tifa on the hand bounces over the Panther's armor. Second shot bounces at this range, by the way, as well, plus the armor bonuses. The Panther's frontal armor is quite formidable against the Tifa of 5, which needs to get close overall. So this is very much an engagement, is very much in Karl's favour, and that's generally how you want to use the Panther. Versus armor, you want to use it at range to take advantage of A, the high penetration, but also the high armor of the Panther. That way you increase your chances of bouncing shots. And go flanking the HG5, gets a good hit there, close to it to the feet. And go HG5 almost done. 39 points left here for Zijndee, looking pretty glum here for the Russians. For the Red Army. Folks are setting out. And there you go, Zijndee surrenders. A loss here for the Red Army, a loss for the Soviet peoples. A victory for Germany. Deutschland. Großdeutschland. So a nice fight here, I think, displaying certainly the power of good Panther usage. Panther with this, but also his breakthrough tactic. I think that's a pretty good ability. And a good play there by Karl. The weak early game was able to turn around there. Zijndee, I think he just got a bit reckless as the game went on. Should have probably committed to as many tanks as possible to make more aggressive maneuvers with them. I feel like the Katyusha also was a bit of an awkward choice, but we had the heavy mortar. So I think there's some improvements there. Plus, you could lay down a lot more mines as the game went on. But I think a pretty interesting fight between two high-ranked players. So I hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. You can send a video of your own via the link in the video description, my email there. If you wish to support the Propagandacast, you can donate or pledge on Patreon. Either helps me out a ton. So do consider. This is Imperial Danes saying cheers. Thank you for watching. You're all a wonderful audience. Bye.